First of all, man, it's an honor to see you guys, man. It's been a blessing, as you guys know, to be a part of this Zoom meeting when Annabelle hit me up, and I was like, man, I would love to get on a Zoom with some of the former players just to talk about that 2002 season. As you guys know, we had a blast, man. One thing about that team, we were very close, probably the most balanced team that I've seen, come through NC State, and I've been here for a long time. But really good dudes. That's the thing that stands out to me the most, just having really good dudes on the team. And once again, it's an honor to be on the Zoom with you guys. So what we'll do, we'll introduce ourselves, just talk about what we're doing right now and where we're living, and we'll just keep it rolling from there. As you guys know, Dantonio Burnette, you guys call me Coach Thunder, originally from Warner Robins, played at NC State from 99 to 2002. Currently, I'm still here at NC State as the assistant AD and director of strength and conditioning. As you guys know, it's a blessing to still be a part of the Wolfpack, and I wouldn't be where I'm at without you guys. We'll hand it over to Maddox.
All right, guys. How you guys doing? I'm Andre Maddox, Miami Killian, Miami. I played at NC State from 2001 to 2004. I'm currently located back in Miami, firefighter paramedic. Living with my family, a wife and 2 kids. That's all I got.
All right, Jerricho Cotchery from Birmingham, Alabama. Played at NC State wide receiver from 2000 to 2003. Married to Mercedes Cotchery, now over 16 years, an NC State grad. Currently living in Concord right now. Right now, what I'm doing right now is just shepherding my family the best way that I can right now, and just enjoying life.
All right, Bryan Peterson from Clinton, North Carolina. Played from 99 to 2002. Currently in the Raleigh area. I coach, teach, and train, and more so just here working with my family. Same as like Jerricho saying, just shepherd my family. And it was an honor playing at NC State and playing along with you guys. And like Thunder said, man, I think that 2002 group that year was probably one of the most close-knit groups that we've ever been around. From our friendship to, playing video games at the crib, to just enjoying it, man. I really appreciate you guys and appreciate the experience and, being friends with you guys for a long time.
So I'm Terrence Holt, went to the mighty Eastern Guilford Wildcats, Gibsonville, North Carolina. Dominated a lot of people over the years. No playoff wins though, but we dominated though. Was at NC State from 98 to 02. 5 years there, free safety. Now back in Raleigh. Here since 2008 permanently, raising a family, beautiful wife, Nikki Holt, 2 kids, Emery, 9 and TJ, 6. And I'm a business owner, run a construction company here in Raleigh, and a foundation supporting kids whose families have been affected by cancer. I'm probably best known to you all as dominating you in both Madden, NCAA.
Never happened.
All of that.
Never happened.
Is what I did. That's what y'all probably know me for. But seriously, though, 2002 year, I think about it all the time. The memories we were able to create, the camaraderie as teammates. And, I can't help but think about what I think to be the best team to ever play at NC State. And I just wish we were able to cap it off with a ACC championship, BCS bowl appearance, and we don't know what would have happened after that.
Hey, what's up, guys? Jed Paulsen, played 2001 to 2004, same class as Maddox, played center from Columbia, Missouri. So I'm kind of an outlier in this group. I wasn't from around the area. I kind of came in from outside, but really turned into loving NC State and everything about it. Right now I'm a principal, assistant principal at a high school, Blue Springs High School in Blue Springs, Missouri. And coaching football, coaching wrestling out there. love doing what I'm doing. And just, really excited to get back and talk to these cats. I haven't talked to you guys for a long time since I'm, not around the area and don't see you guys a lot, but it's good to see some faces that I haven't seen for a while. And man, I tell you what, that 2002 group, man, I just love y'all, love playing with you guys. And it was a freaking blast. It was one of the best times of my life. So just happy to be here with you guys and talk to you in fellowship and reconnect. So anyway, that's me.
Manny Lawson, Goldsboro, North Carolina. Went to North Carolina State 2002, 2006. Man, that 2002 year. I mean, just seeing you guys, each one of you, made an impact in my life. You all pulled me aside and it taught me one thing or another. So I'm very thankful for you. Right now, living in Arizona, Scottsdale, attending school, engineering management, film study, 3 kids, 2 boys, 1 girl. And right now, just taking it day by day. Again, as everybody else said, enjoy seeing you guys, enjoy being here. Part of this meeting of elites, man. Y'all were elites. Everywhere we went, we heard about y'all. And just to be a part of this group, be here in this Zoom call, I feel special.
Hey, what's up, guys? Philip Rivers here, 2000, 2003. I'll tell you what, I have a lot of great memories. Obviously, we all do, but seeing your faces, and some of you hadn't seen in so long, it floods you. All the memories we had. Going back from North Alabama, Jerricho State, Birmingham. I think back to those 1998, 99 when I was playing free safety and D'ing up Jerricho and getting interceptions, and then I happened to walk onto the basketball court against him the next year in the playoffs. And when you say guard somebody when they get off the bus, when I got off the bus, Jerricho was up in my face and I couldn't get a sniff. I couldn't get the ball. I couldn't score. I couldn't do nothing. So that was 21 years ago. It's hard to believe that was 21 years ago. So a lot's happened, obviously. All of y'all remember Tiffany and Hallie. Hallie was just born that 2002 summer in July. So and Tiffany and I were there, right there, shoot north of that Crabtree Mall, and even started over there, down there off of in Clarion Crossing, down there right off of Main Drag. That's where I used to shoot. I don't know if we should say this, right, but where you used to, if it was a little rainy, right, we didn't go to class. We wouldn't play little video games. So, but gosh, time flies. But yeah, so we, Tiffany and I have 9 now. Hallie's the oldest of 9, and Hallie's going to college this fall. So time flies for sure. We're in Indy now. We just moved in. We've been here about 3 or 4 days, and so getting settled. Haven't been in the same town really for 16 years. It's been a transition, but we're in a good place, and everybody's happy and excited about what's to come. But yeah, that 2002 season was awesome. Gosh, what a run we had, and then we hit a bump in the road, and then we finished it strong. But more than, the football is fun, as we all know, to talk about, but it was more than that. It was more than that. We had a unique brotherhood, and I think we all can appreciate that anytime, and maybe even more so now, right? Obviously, with all this going on, and I know the pain many of you are feeling, and all of us can feel it, not the way all of you can. But that brotherhood we had was special. It was unique, and I think the locker room and the camaraderie, being on a team is really is special, and you wish everybody could experience it, because of how special it is. But yeah, it's great seeing y'all's faces. I know some of you I've texted with over time. Some of you have been bad responders, and I apologize, so please forgive me. But it sure is great seeing all of you.
But great memories, man. You guys all are special. Once again, one of the things about our team was that we were very close. We needed a whole lot more people like that during this day and age. We all played a special role. The great thing about that team is that we didn't have a whole lot of guys that cared about the spotlight. We just wanted to be there for each other. One of the things that really stood out to me was I remember the off-season program and how hard of a grind the winter conditioning program was. You guys know how that was. There was oftentimes, man, guys would rather, go under the knife and have surgery instead of going through the off-season program, because it was that tough and it was that challenging. But I will say it caused us to, come together and lean on each other a lot. And then the summers, going out there running 110s in the summertime, just real. And it cost us, to be honest, to grow up a whole lot. We did start the season out, 9-0, beating Clemson on Thursday night. A lot of people said that we couldn't do it. And then, as you guys mentioned, man, we hit a little bump in the road, but we finished the season the right way. What we'll do now, we'll just transition. As you guys know, we're on this Zoom call to talk about the 2002 Florida State versus NC State game, a game that, we always got up for. I just want to allow you guys, I'm not going to just point guys out. I'm going to allow it to be a little bit of an open floor so you guys can give your perspective on it. What do you guys remember the most, about going into that game, that whole week of preparation and things of that nature?
Going against Florida State, you knew that they were known for a great defense. And despite facing their offense, it's almost like, a pitcher. A pitcher wants to outpitch the other pitcher. We as a defense, we knew we had to play against their offense, but we wanted to be better than their defense because we thought that we were a better defense than them. And so going back to kind of those 3 preceding games, our thought process was, let's, if giving them just a few points and we've still not been able to win, let's keep them off the scoreboard. Let's don't give them no points. And let's try to leave them with a goose egg, and let's set up our offense to be who they are, special.
Being as honest as I can be, we come a long way going against Florida State. Obviously, Chuck coming from there. My freshman year in 2000, I was scared of them. It was that, right? It was like, oh, and I know, in '98, right? They NC State had beaten Florida State, and that's really what really kind of put NC State on the map for me as a high school kid in Alabama. But and then 2001, we go down there and beat them, and I think it kind of validated, right? I mean, we were a little bit. It was huge. I mean, they had not lost a conference game, so here we come in 2002. And I think you said it, T. Holt, with what was on the line. It was senior day. It was a chance to get our 10th win and a chance to beat them back to back. Something NC State hadn't done, send y'all out with a win and get to 10. Having all that on the line was helpful because it was easy to say, we blew our chance. But it was all that was on the line, and then having a chance, obviously, to play in a New Year's Day bowl after that with a win. So it was awesome. It allowed us to move past, obviously, those rough 3 weeks.
Yeah, just another defensive perspective. I think for us, understanding what Florida State came from, Chuck Amato coming from Florida State. He had spent 18 years there. So when he got there, I remember him saying, it wasn't too many guys on the team that could actually play there. Maybe one guy, and that was Adrian Wilson. That stood out to me. And so everything we did in the all-season program was geared towards beating Florida State. And so it started way before that game. It started in the off-season. And as you mentioned, Philip, we beat them the year before down in Tallahassee, and that feeling was probably one of the best feelings I ever had in my college football career outside of beating Notre Dame. But to come back to Raleigh and the Strauss Center and how packed it was, we got to the off-season program that following year. It was like we're gonna put that on our list of things to do, and we knew we were gonna have them coming back to Carter Finley Stadium.
The attention to detail and focus. I remember getting ready to walk off the field to go in, and you look around and you see everybody out there practicing their craft and trying to do something better. And I mean, just the attention to detail. Guys that would normally just head on this side were coming back out to come in and put in that extra work. And that was really one of the things that stood out, especially going into that week. It's just how, we did hit that bump in the road, and we could have easily just turned it in and let it be what it was. But that's not how, you guys especially, wanted to end things. I mean, it wasn't over. And that speaks monuments about your character. I mean, how you led the team. I mean, and I think, it's a testament to you guys.
Just looking at the seniors, I felt like we were led well the entire year. And so you just wanted to send you guys out. I know I wanted to send you guys out, being an underclassman, out on a high note. And, that would have meant everything for me going into the game. And I think, really the character of you guys and how you brought everyone along really showed, that week going into the game. And I know it's going to bring back a lot of memories. Going to see the Braves and everything, hanging down. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and it was just a wonderful feeling, man, to see the seniors after the game. Knowing that we had accomplished something special.
Just moving on. Next question. I have a question for Philip. So tell me about that 60-yard run that Josh Brown had I think you threw a key block for him. And the reason that Josh Brown was in the game, I think he
Key block,
for some
whatever.
reason. So tell me about that.
I remember being aggravated that it was 2nd and 20 or whatever, and I was going to stand out there and play wide receiver. What are we doing? I was like, you got to be kidding me. And then he breaks off a big one down to the 1 or whatever, and it was huge. That was really the offensive spark we needed. We had a couple other big conversions, but I don't know. I've had a couple decent blocks in my career. I don't know where that one ranks. It's gotten worse. As you get older, it gets worse, boys. It gets worse. But that the other thing that stands out, Thunder, I can ramble, is hey, Bryan, you remember me and you getting into it on a timeout early in the game. We blew our 3 timeouts in the first half, and I think I called the play wrong, but I fussed at you for lining up on the wrong side. And your hands were moving and my hands were moving, and the coaches were trying to get. We're good. We usually took us about 30 seconds and we were good. But I remember us burning through timeouts. I'm already emotional, but it was for the reasons we just said. It was extra emotional. The whole thing was just like, gosh, we got to win a game, and then add all the other things to it. But we settled in. But that run, Josh Brown, TA was banged up, and he had a huge run, direct counter of some sort. It was huge.
That was another thing that was very unique about that team. Everyone was always prepared to step in. We used to always say, I don't know if you guys remember this, either you're a program maker or you're a program breaker. And you didn't want to be a program breaker, man, because, in the locker room, guys like Philip and Torrey, Terrence, they were the funny guys in the locker room. So we were always calling guys out, and you didn't want to be the guy on that program breaker list. So awesome time. Next question I have, just Maddox, if you can give me your perspective from being a Killian Cougar with all the Killian cats out there on the field, just tell me how you felt about that game. And
going into that game, it was like, I think I want to say like me and Pat were probably like a few of the guys that were lead of the Killer Bees. It was like our time to come in. Seeing you guys, and following your leadership, it helped us because we knew guys like Anquan Bolt. He was Mr. Football in Florida, and Adrian McPherson was Mr. Football and basketball, and Mr. Basketball. That his final year coming out of high school. So we kind of knew them guys and knew of them. With me playing behind Pat, it was kind of a comfort for me being there 3 years with him being right in front of me, him the wheel linebacker, and I'm sitting right behind him. And I've played with this guy 4 years already. I think that it was very comforting knowing that, that you guys had our back, I had his back, and the whole Killian Killer Cat thing. It grew a little more from then on, just basically because we won the game, and people back home watch us and see, hey, those guys, we sent 5 guys up there, and all of them did pretty well.
What I wish people could really get and see was our practices from spring, fall, and somewhat in season, but mostly spring and fall when we had 1s versus 1s, 2s versus 2s, and just the back and forth that we had from sideline, from offense to defense. I'm telling y'all, like I dream sometimes about those days and practices and going back and forth and calling Philly cheese noodle and trying to lay the pipe on
Charlie.
Trying to lay the pipe on Jerricho. Phil throw him out there in the middle. I remember the spring game lighting Jerricho up, and Oh man, just all of that. But what the young guys did was just bring a lot of energy. They were very talented. I remember them being very fast. I remember them being hungry for information. And I remember them just getting better and better throughout the year.
This next question is for Jed Paulsen, and I'll allow him to speak first, and then we all can give our perspective on it. Let's just talk about Chris Coleman a little bit. Offensive lineman, Chris Coleman.
I was a younger dude on this team. I was a sophomore, I was a young dude, and Chris Coleman and Scott Krusher and Shane Riggs and Locklear. Those were the guys that I as an offensive lineman always looked up to, and I always saw all those guys, including Phil and Pete and Jerricho and everybody on here. I saw you guys as gods. I mean, you guys were awesome. I just always looked up to you guys, and he was one of those dudes. And when he actually came back for that extra year and moved in, and I really got to know him personally on a personal note. Just one of the best guys I've ever been around and ever known. He was just happy-go-lucky, always was the life of the party, could make a good time out of anything. I remember sitting in our apartment and having the best time ever just playing Wii. We played Wii tennis, man, back and forth for hours upon hours, just having a great time talking and socializing. But then he got on the football field, and the dude's a competitor, and he was ready to get after it no matter what. Tough. I mean, the dude played an entire football season and still got drafted in the third round with nerve damage all throughout his shoulder and his arm. So, Chris Coleman is a guy that we all love. Can't say enough about him. I miss him to death.
Chris was also one, and you guys were you upperclassmen, and then Chris was one of the first guys I remember meeting and kind of hanging with down the hall. He was right down the hall there at the Stroud Center. And like you said, Jed, it was the same way. We'd play that NFL blitz, and we'd play for hours. I mean, we said we were getting blitzers instead of blisters because we played this stupid video game so long. And y'all remember Coleman got the the platinum grill in his teeth, and he would do that all the time. And he was fun, but he was tough. He was strong. He loved to play. But he had such a great perspective on the whole deal. I just remember him telling me over and over how his arm was on fire. That nerve deal made his arm burn, and he would make jokes of it just to kind of get through it, and kind of made it part of the, But he was an awesome teammate. He came out and watched the game when we played the Steelers. Him and Lee Tornabini, who were roommates. You remember Lee there at the Stroud Center? They came out. I don't remember the year. It was out of the house afterward. It was certainly sad hearing that news, but he was a heck of a player, and like you said, Joe was a heck of a guy.
I mean, he instilled a lot of confidence in me. I was actually recruited to go to state to be a receiver, and then became a linebacker, and then now defensive end, and so that became my home there. And he would tell me how to pass rush. He would teach me how to pass rush. And then we'll game will end, and he'd be like, you know what? I'm blocking these guys with one hand. I mean, you have way more talent than these guys. I mean, he holds a very special place in my heart. When everything went down, it was tough. And, he's going to be missed, and he is missed.
What do you guys remember about the celebration at the end of the game? Do you guys actually remember what happened at the end of the game?
I remember. I remember after the game, I think they was going to try to score something. I think maybe Dan, you caught the interception or something like that. And everybody rushing the field, and all I was thinking was, oh my goodness, because I think it was your knee. I was thinking, oh my goodness, he done messed up his knee, ACL or something. We want him for the bowl game. That's what I was thinking. And then I saw the guys carrying it off the field and stuff of that nature. But I remember.
Old loser limp.
Then I can remember. I think you and I, we talked about it. We got to our apartment that night. I remember my father trying to get on the goal post, and they were turning the goal post down that night. So,
That's exactly what happened, man. I think it was Vic Stevens who was on the goal post, like hanging on it. It was
hanging on for dear life.
Yeah. But on that last play, it's so funny, and I tell people all the time, it wasn't even my play to be made. Manny was supposed to get back deep, and I was supposed to pull up the quarterback, and right before the play, I was like, Manny, you go get the quarterback. I'm going to get back deep. And in fin fashion, my last play in Carter Finley Stadium was an interception, and it definitely wasn't loser's lip, Terrence. I hyperextended my knee, and it freaked me out.
Nah, you wanted some sympathy that night. That's all you wanted.
But I remember it was so funny because a lot of the young linebackers, there was a few times I would like, if I knew the offense figured out what we were doing, I would change it up a little bit and be like, you do my job behind you. And I ended up having a few sacks also by doing that. But hilarious, man. The funniest thing ever. Funniest thing ever. What about you, Jerricho? Anything at all?
I just remember getting back to wherever we were, and we were watching the highlights. And I know I'm sitting there with Corey, and I think Vic may have been in the room, but I didn't know that Vic was on the goalpost. You know, I had no clue that all of that went on, and I'm watching this dude on the goalpost like he's riding a horse. Man, it was hilarious, man. So that was my moment where where I was like, man, what happened? But it was that was a funny moment.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up here. Last question. Funniest memory from that season? Your braids probably was one of the funniest.
I will say that. Now, I had a lot of people jonesing about my braids, and y'all were hating because what I proved to y'all was that I could grow it out. And all y'all was wearing braids, thought you was, cool and all of that. And, I just wore my hair low just cause. And so I decided to grow it out, and y'all was hating because, mine was real curly. And as you can see in my beard, I got a good grade. And so what y'all was mad at was that I could get it braided. It was as long because I had hang time. Pete, you never had hang time. Pete, your braids stopped like right here. But my braids went all the way back.
They started about halfway back.
But no, that was the funniest thing, man. Y'all, I would love to come in the locker room and just to be the butt of y'all jokes. Like y'all just don't understand. Like, I was cool with and confident enough in myself to do some stuff. I wanted braids and I was trying to wear braids. That was a serious thing. But I just used to love y'all's jokes, man. Y'all jokes was relentless about my braids and about my hair. So that was probably the funniest thing.
One of the funniest things ever was Chris Murray on picture day. The guys they were riding him so hard. He started to take his braids out on picture day, and he actually took a picture sideways because guys were riding him so hard, man. The funniest thing ever. And as you guys know, Chris Murray is probably one of the funniest guys I've ever been around. What do they call him, Blood or something like that? I mean, he was hilarious. But that has to be one of the funniest moments ever, just everybody just getting a great laugh in. So that's mine.
We had so many. We laughed all the time. I mean, the dining hall, we laughed. The walk to the dining hall, we laughed. It was constantly picking at each other. And on the field, some of the back and forth banter, as you mentioned, that sometimes we did have a few scraps on the field. But I think that's that going. You got to bear with me for 5 minutes. I think that's what was so unique was though. But it was because of the tightness we had. We could do that. So you may get aggravated. We all got aggravated and got fired up. But it was over so fast. We were the same guys walking cutting up, laughing about it, 30 minutes later when we were ready to come to blows. But I remember, Dan, it wasn't funny at the time, okay? But it was Monday track day. It was Monday track day, and we had 8 300s. And oh my goodness, that last one, Thunder, as you are, and what's made you great is you weren't quitting. But that last 20 yards of number 8, oh my goodness. I didn't think
that was Jerricho and I both, man. Jerricho and I, we hated Mondays.
Hey, I didn't know if you were gonna get there, and Stroud and Meyer told CJ to go get the gator, and they pulled you out of there on that gator on those 8 300s. And I never forget how mad you were, though, because you hated that part of the competitiveness. You were so mad. But I remember afterwards when the dust settled, we laughed and laughed and laughed about that last 100 yards of that last 300.
Man, we had so many special moments and fun moments. Again, T-Hope, Braves, Thunder, yeah, you definitely hated those Monday track meetings. Those Monday track workouts. Hey, but you weren't the only one, Thunder. Cheese hated those Monday track workouts too. Phil, he didn't like the conditioning either. Of course, Jerricho didn't like the conditioning, but Jerricho really didn't show you that he was tired or hurt. But he didn't like those either, man. But we just had a good time, especially in practice. Fun moments where I will let you know if we would run the drag route. I whisper to you like, "Hey, Thon, I'm coming. Don't hit me," because you went 100 miles an hour. And just joking with seeing Doc Holliday talking junk. Come on, Pete. Come on, get your get going, get moving and stuff like that. And just him talking junk to the defense and you guys talking junk back to him. That just made it every practice fun.
Everybody was a victim. From coaches to senior players to freshmen, everybody was a victim. There was jokes all the time, all day. And when it was time to get serious, it was time to get serious. I can't say that there was ever a bad practice. There was always some type of laughter out there. It was a joy. It's going to always be a memory. It's going to always be something that's going to hold. I think we're all going to hold it dear to our hearts.
All you guys are tremendous players, and just love being a part of NC State. I have a lot of pride in myself for being on that team and being with you guys. I just love you guys, and thanks for taking the time and putting me on this thing. So I appreciate all you guys.
That was the best year I pretty much had there as a team, as a group. That was one of the best years we had, and it was thanks to you guys' leadership and you guys and us. I guess us underclassmen, myself, Manny, Jed, for stepping up and following y'all leadership. So I thank you guys. All the best.
I always tell high school kids, because a lot of, as the truth goes, a lot of high school, that's their last experience of playing football. And y'all know my dad was a coach, and that's what I'm going to do one day. I already, kind of got that situated down there in South Alabama. And so I look forward to that. But I always tell those kids, high school is their, most of them is going to be their last experience, and to enjoy the heck out of it because there's nothing like it. And for us that got to play in college, and I'm thankful I'm played as long as I played in the league. But those moments, I'm telling you, I don't know that all those moments we talked about in those whole 4 years, it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat because I think we spent so much time together. We were always, and I felt like we were mature beyond our age in the sense from a relationship standpoint. The ability to. We talk about joking, but I felt like we had serious conversations too. There was a love there that, not every 18, 19, it's hard to create that. We truly had a unique.
It's amazing how things can, really bring people together, having the COVID-19 situation. And it's amazing how, I'm literally on 4, 5, 6 Zooms a day. And, a strength coach having to learn how to navigate through Zoom has been pretty cool. But we definitely have to start doing these a little bit more. As you guys know, man, we can talk all night talking about Coach Pate stories and, off-season programs and all those different things. But I will say, man, I appreciate each and every one of you guys, man. Each and every one of you guys are the reason that I'm wired the way I'm wired, to be honest. The players, they always they know that, you know, when we start things, we're going to start early on pack time. You know, there's only one way to do it, and that's full speed. And I just hope that I am a great representation of you guys in our program. Just remember, don't ever be afraid to reach out. If you guys are ever in town, come in. I'm always talking about you guys and, you know, how we did things. The more we can have NC State guys come around and be in the building, the more they're going to understand the history of our program and how proud we were to wear the red and white more than anything.